Welcome to everybody. Today we will teach the material control. Subject is your cost accounting. Chapter is your material control, and it is a vital chapter because control over material is essential for each and every manufacturing sector because material constitute a prime segment of the cost, segment of the product, and as far as possible, considering the nature of the activities, considering the nature of the organization, its viability, suitability, material should be controlled in such a way so that it can be used in an optimum way by minimizing its quantity of wastage and spoilage. As a result, the material can be consumed efficiently, effectively to produce the product. And as far as material is concerned, and as it is the vital part of each and every part of the production, that is why it should be its control is necessary and inevitable. That is why whenever we maintain the materials or any organization maintain the materials, it should be taken into account in different sides, different angles. It should be judged in different angles, particularly accounting point of view and operating point of view. That means aspects of material control is your material control. Aspects of material control. Aspects of material control is two types. One is your accounting control. Number two is your operating control. Accounting control point of view, here it has to emphasize the recording of records of materials, means from the point of purchase up to the point of production, whatever necessary documents are required are to be maintained perfectly. Here is accounting control: purchase of material, consumption of material, issue of material, recording of material, storing of material. Regarding all these matters, whatever records are necessary are to be maintained, because these are the vital records are to be maintained so that it can be it will help you in future to analyze all these matters regarding this matter. That is the accounting control point of view. You should maintain the records. The next one is your operating control. Operating control means materials should be used, should be purchased, should be used, should be kept in the store in a such a manner so that no shortage will arise, or no shortage will arise in case of a production. That means if material is in a short position, is less than the minimum position, so there is every possibility of hampering of production or stoppage of production. And excess of material kept in the store leads to increasing of your carrying cost. That is why operating control, that means perfect as much quantities of material required should be purchased and it should be stored in proper way, and the consumption requirement, depending upon the degree of requirement, the capacity of requirement, accordingly it should be issued to the production center, so that the comparison table can be taken into account of demand, depending upon the demand of the production, demand of the product. Accordingly, material should be purchased, material should be kept in the store, and side by side the quantity of material required for the purpose of production can be issued to the processing unit. That means accounting point of view, it emphasizes maintaining records. Operating point of view, it emphasizes the movement of material not only from the supplier but also up to the point of consumption. that these are to be a chain system. It is a chain system, it is a link system. All these are to be maintained in simultaneous way, so that we can come to the conclusion the quantity of inflow and quantity of outflow, means issue of a material to the production center and purchase of material from the supplier. All these movement of materials are taken into account regarding operating control. This is all about your aspects of material control. Next one is your okay, this is your heading, needs and objectives of material control. Needs and objectives of material control. As material is the vital part of the product, that is why it should be controlled in a such way. And what are the causes behind it? Why do we control material? Why do we control the material? The needs are to achieve economy in buying, to ensure continuity in production, to avoid overstocking, to do away with understocking, to protect material from losses, to reduce the chance of obsolescence, to check misappropriation, to get up-to-date information. So these are the points upon which we have to analyze, because the needs and objectives of the material control, because we the main objectives or needs depends upon these points, and these are the most vital points upon which we have to depend, because of material control is most vital. First one is to achieve economy buying. Economy in buying means material depending upon the requirement of the organization, requirement of the production, accordingly the material should be purchased. No over purchase, no under purchase. Over purchase leads to increase of inventory holding cost, means carrying cost, and possibility of wastage, possibility of spoilage, and understocking leads to stoppage of production. And it should be done by a specialized expert purchase person who can take action at the time of need, how much quantity of material should be purchased during the time as per the necessary, so that no overstocking will be maintained, no understocking will be maintained. As that is why, depending upon the, if you maintain the economy in buying, that the best example, the best method is your EOQ, economic order quantity. By applying the formula economic order quantity, you can find out how much quantity of material to be purchased at a time, and this can be done by an expert person who is in charge of purchase. Next one is to ensure continuity in production. Continuity in production. Listen, continuity in production means depending upon the capacity of the production. Normally, number of organizations may run their machine 80% capacity, 60% capacity, 40%, 30% or 90%, depending upon the requirement of the market. That means depending upon the demand of the product in the market. So depending upon the capacity of the running of the machine or production, accordingly the material should be maintained. As a result, no production will hamper. No production will hamper. Here is written ensure continuity in production. That means in case of understocking, there is every possibility of a stoppage of production. If production is stopped due to shortage of material, it is a result of increasing overheads. Ultimately, the impact puts its impact upon the total cost, and it becomes difficult to compete with your competitors. The continuity production can be done only by the expert person who is always in alert position, so that how much quantity to be purchased, when to be purchased, from where to be purchased, all these are to be analyzed regularly by the expert person, so that no production will hamper because of shortage of production. That is why we should keep alert, or the organizer should keep alert in supplying continuity of material to the production center for the purpose of smooth production. Next one is to avoid overstocking, and you know already we have discussed in previous classes. Avoid overstocking. Overstocking means as much quantity of material required for the production, it should be purchased and stored in the your stores. But overstocking leads to blockage of capital. Requirements depends upon the quantity of material consumed in the organization or in the processing center or production center. And if you store more than the quantity required, in such cases there is increasing of your holding cost, means your carrying cost, side by side blockage of capital, and there is a possibility of wastage, spoilage. That is why it should be kept in account, and to avoid overstocking, no overstocking is required. The quantity of material required for the purpose of production should be purchased and maintained in a continuous flow. Next one is to do away with understocking. This is exactly the opposite of overstocking. Understocking leads to stoppage of production, because if the organization is not alert in maintaining the stock position, it becomes difficult to run the organization or production in a continuous flow. Understocking leads to stoppage of production, means whenever material required for the purpose of production may not be available in the store. That is why as much quantity or the minimum quantity should be maintained in the store, so that the production will not hamper and the store can supply the material required by the production center. Now, understocking is not a good sign for the organization. That is why it should not be maintained. Next one is to protect material from losses. It is the quality of the material, because number of materials having different quality, different nature. Some of the materials may be kept for a long period, some of the materials may not be kept for a long period, depending upon the nature of the material. Some of the materials are spoiled or loses its quality due to different causes. That is why, considering the nature of the material, it should be preserved accordingly. Depending how to be used the material, how to be the material to be kept for a long period, accordingly we should take some preservative steps, so that the material can be kept for a long period. And if to protect the material from losses, if the material is loose, that means that is if we lose any type of material, there is a possibility of loss, and loss means it becomes difficult to recover, because once material loses its quality, it cannot be used for the purpose of production. As a result, that loss will be considered as a completely loss, and recover the loss it becomes difficult. And if material control specially emphasizes from losses, because material control emphasizes optimum use of material that the organization has purchased. That is why, to control over the losses, the organization should keep an alert and purchase the quantity of material as required, and overstocking of a material may lead to maximum losses. Sixth one, you have to reduce the chance of obsolescence. Reduce the chance of obsolescence. Obsolescence means if the material is kept for a long period. If the material is kept for a long period, it may be used, may not be used, that is different material, because for a long period material may be loses its quantity may not be used for the purpose of production, and side by side, due to change of technology, change of taste, change of mentality of the consumers, different new types of materials are procured, so that the old material can be kept idle, cannot be used further. So to reduce the chance of obsolete, as much quantity of material required should be kept in the store and can be used for the purpose of production. And whenever a new technology introduced, new type of material are implemented or used, in such cases the old material can be used in proper way, or the optimum way, so that the chance of obsolescence can be reduced. This is the point, depends upon the development or introduction of a new technology or introduction of a new material for the purpose of a new product or production of a new items. Point number 7, to check misappropriation. To check misappropriation, nowadays Material control or material losses arises because of misappropriation by the employees, those who are involved in maintaining the records, maintaining the materials. From the point of purchase up to the point of consumption, number of employees, number of personnel are involved. That means from the point of supplier up to the point of production, number of persons are involved, and material goes through number of processes in the hands of number of persons. That is the question may arise in some of the cases, particularly the materials which are very costly may be misappropriated by the employees, may be taken away by the employees. As a result, it becomes a heavy loss for the organization, accounting point of view or controlling point of view. That is why the misappropriation normally it is done by the employees or workers, so that internal audit, internal check should be done in a regular form, so that misappropriation can be controlled. As if misappropriation is checked, so that the production will not be hampered, material will not be misutilized, and production can be properly used. Side by side, material can be used in a proper way, in a maximum way, without having any misappropriation or without having any type of misuse. Last one is to get up to date information. Material from the point of production up to the point of consumption, it goes through a number of processes, through a number of persons, and all these are to be maintained in every points. How much quantities of material has been purchased, side by side. Regarding this matter, the maintenance of records should be maintained by the purchase department, and the materials normally purchased are sent to the stores for the storing purpose, and in some cases the storekeeper should take necessary action to maintain the records of purchase of material, how much quantity of material has been purchased, having their lot, having their code number, quality, all these are to be taken into account, and side by side it should be stored in a proper way. All these are to be maintained by the storekeeper. Similarly, on the another side, whenever the materials are sent or issued to the production center, in some cases the storekeeper has to maintain the necessary records in issuing the materials to the production center as per the requirement of the foreman, requirement of the production. And side by side, how much quantities of material to be issued to the production center, these are to be maintained by not only by storekeeper but also by the foreman, because the quantity required for the purpose of production is requested by the foreman to the storekeeper regarding issuing the material. It is a formal request by the foreman to the storekeeper regarding of issuing the quantity of material, its code number, quality, and different forms of material. So all these are records relating to this matter from the point of purchase up to the point of production. Different materials, different persons are involved, and different documents are to be maintained, so that we can come after a considerable period, we can come to the point how much quantity of material has been purchased during a particular period, and storing of material, regarding the storing quantity of material stored, quantity of material used during a particular period. All these relating matters, all these are to be recorded, so that at the time of need, these are materials, these are the informations regarding the material can be analyzed and come to the conclusion, that is the way, the flow of material, consumption of material, side by side regarding the quantity of material consumed during the particular period, and the percentage of flow, degree of flow, all these are can be come to the conclusion, so that the organization can take necessary steps for the future. That means considering these points, up to date information will enable the organization to frame plan for the future in case of necessity of the quantum of production, kete parimanare me production kariba, ता ପାଇଁ केते परिमाण material requirement अछि, side by side other information, all these are can be taken into account subject to condition if the organization maintains up-to-date information. This is all about your needs and objects. Objects of it is your objectives. Needs and objectives. Needs and objectives of material control. So to achieve economy in buying, to ensure continuity in production, to avoid overstocking, to do away with understocking, to protect the material from losses, to reduce the chance of obsolescence, check misappropriation, up-to-date information, and these are the points to be kept in mind. As it is a long question, most of the time or in some of the cases, such type of question may be asked in the exam. What are the needs and objectives of material control? Simply, it is can be remembered: economy in buying, continuity in production, overstocking, understocking, material from losses, that is a chance of obsolescence, that is misappropriation, up-to-date information. This is the vital terms in the point. Only you have to remember this one. If you remember this point, these are the points: economy in buying, continuity production, overstocking, understocking, then losses, chance of obsolescence, misappropriation, up-to-date information. These are the terms you have to remember so that you can maintain the point and analyze, describe in a descriptive form, 2 to 3 lines or 4 lines maximum, so that you can cover all these points and you can get a good mark if you describe the material, not only describe the points by putting this information, means headings. Okay. Next is your techniques of material control. Now, what are the techniques are to be adopted by an organization in order to control the material? And first one is your number 1, EOQ. Number 2 is your setting stock level. Setting stock level. Number 3 is your ABC analysis. Number 4 is your JIT. Inventory. Number 5 is your PAT analysis. Number 6 is your FNSD analysis. 7 material turnover ratio. These are the different techniques of material control. That means, as you know, material control is vital, and how to control the material used in the organization, and that can be controlled by different techniques. As depending upon the necessity, depending upon the suitability, depending upon the viability of the organization, accordingly you have to select any one of them, any one of the techniques, so that you can control the material. These are techniques: EOQ, economic order quantity; setting stock levels. Different types of stock levels are there. I will teach you later. Setting stock levels is your maximum stock level, minimum stock level, reordering level, danger level, or as minimum level is otherwise known as safety level. So these are the different levels are to be set, so that you can maintain the stock and control the cost. Control the stock, केते क्वांटिटी, मैक्सिमम क्वांटिटी केते ही पारे, मिनिमम क्वांटिटी केते ही पारे, रीऑर्डरिंग क्वांटिटी केते ही पारे, डेंजर लेवल केते ही पारे, एगुडे सब डिफरेंट स्टॉक लेवल रे तमर अछि टेक्निकली. I will analyze later. ABC analysis is a techniques. JIT, inventory, PAT analysis, FNSD analysis, material turnover ratio. So these are the different techniques are to be followed depending upon the requirement, and EOQ is the best method of a material control means regarding the purchase of material. It is based on purchase of material. How much of material, how much quantity of material to be purchased at a time for an organization with a minimum cost that will provide EOQ will provide you that means provide to the organization. Different stock limits depending upon the consumption, lead time, and side by side its stock position means stock status. Other information that is ABC, G, VED, FNST. So these are the different techniques, and ये techniques भितर हमको केवल बुझिबार अछि, प्रत्येक टेक्निक को बुझिबार अछि, किंतु सब टेक्निक को गोटे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन फॉलो करे नाही. ऑर्गेनाइजेशन रो नेचर, स्टेटस, मटेरियल रो अवेलेबिलिटी, मटेरियल रो नेचर आ कंजप्शन स्टेटस एगुलो केते गुडे को नजर रखि करी मटेरियल रो नेचर, डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ मटेरियल कंज्यूम करा जाउछि, एगुलो सब नजर रखि करी हम कोनोसी ना कोनोसी गोटे हमको फॉलो करिया पे पड़िबो किबा दुइटा फॉलो करिया पे पड़िबो. आ द्वारा तमे मटेरियल को प्रॉपर वे रे कंट्रोल करि परिबो. एगुडे जो टेक्निक्स अछि ए टेक्निक्स will be discussed one after one. So remember this one, you have to remember these are the different techniques. Okay, I will teach you in the next class details regarding this your techniques of material control. Thank you.